How we respond to the moments of life is a spiritual practice every day. Every one of us has all these little things that show up in our life and all these little things that we do every day that can be our spiritual practices if we choose to see them that way and to make them that way. And that's what our journey over the next several weeks is about. It's about recognizing the moments in our life that can become the basis of our spiritual life. The practices that we bring forth, the things that Jesus talked about, in loving our enemies or loving our neighbors and doing good and all the things that we wish to bring forth in our life experience, we can discover our life as one big spiritual practice. A lot of us have things that we do. Some people get up early and meditate in the morning. Some people take vision quests. Some people have things that they do that are important prayer time for their spiritual practices. But I think living a spiritual life, being on a spiritual journey consciously, is more than just organizing a section of our day around focusing on spirit. Because when we often do that, sometimes we put spirit in a box that only exists in that moment. It'd be like saying, I'm going to go to church, and that's my spiritual life, and then the rest of it is the rest of it. And that often is how redemption theology shows up in the context of worship, because redemption theology really is about showing up, asking for forgiveness, getting forgiveness, and going back out. And I think it's so much bigger than that. That our life is really the process of taking what it is that we learn and going out and practicing. And that's spiritual practice. That's showing up in the world as a spiritual being. And that's what we're here to do. That's what our work is. That's how our life becomes this mystery that we are in the midst of experiencing. Not solving, but experiencing this incredible mystery. Michael Beckwith says, spiritual liberation is not the result of my having reached ultimate spiritual conclusions that I now present as being the truth. It is rather a summation of my own journey of some 30 years of entering the great mystery and exploring frontiers of consciousness, which is an ever-evolving process. It is the result of my having discarded a materialistic worldview and replaced it with the realization that a committed spiritual practice illuminates and clarifies our purpose on the planet. We are free not only by what happens when we sit on our meditation cushion, but also by how we apply the results of our spiritual practices when driving on the freeway or interacting with others, nature and the global environment, how we cultivate our world citizenry in relationship to our brothers and sisters on the planet, how we compassionately extend ourselves in selfless service and share our resources. My definition of spiritual practice is the systematic incorporation of a behavior that nurtures our relationship with the divine and opens our heart to this experience. Any systematic incorporation of a behavior, a response, that nurtures our relationship with the divine and opens our heart to this experience is a spiritual practice, whatever that might be. And that experience calls forth love. I have this spiritual practice I do called clarification. And what clarification is for me is when I'm in a crabby mood, and we all have crabby moods, some crabbier than others, but when I'm in a crabby mood and you still have to interact with people, right? We still have to show up and do what it is that we do. And so the spiritual practice of clarification for me is to say to someone who I'm interacting with that I'm in a crabby mood. And my mood is not about you. It is about me. And so if I sound discordant or crabby or anything else, I just want you to know that you had nothing to do with it. It's really about me and my process. And it's amazing when I say that, everything shifts. I get a little more relaxed, they get a little more relaxed, and it opens the door for us to have a conversation. Rather than them being defensive because I'm being a jerk, I can still be a jerk and they don't be defensive about it. It's like it helps. It works with our kids. You come home and you say, rather than come home and yell at your kids, what if you just told them, I'm in a bad mood? And I apologize in advance, if I say something that is disturbing to you. 99.9% of the time when you say that, you won't say something disturbing. Because what does it do? It puts you into a place that you're conscious. You're conscious of what's going on in your life. You're in the middle of a spiritual practice that calls forth connection and love and nurturing and all the things that need to show up in your life experience. So that's what's going to happen over the next several weeks. That's what's going to happen in our synergy groups. That if you're part of that group, you're going to be in a place where you can talk about and to deepen your experience of how this stuff can show up in your life and how you can work with it and be with it and live with it and create what it is that you would like to create in your life experience. I want to close with my poem called The What and the Why. The what is the law, the why is love. The law is important. It is structure, it is clarity, it is comfort, it is stability. It is the what, not the why. The exterior, not the interior. The skeleton, not the meat. The body, not the soul of a life seeking to be lived. It is the why that awakens us to the glory of our life. The why is love, passion, joy. It is the heart, the soul, the spirit, the light around our body. The what gives us substance. The why gives us life. The what is what we touch. The why touches us and opens us to the greater good. We are on a spiritual journey, and love is our fuel. It moves us forward, it heals our body, it inspires us to serve. I am an instrument of love. I follow the law, but I experience love and share it in the small moments of my life. God bless.